Welcome to Learnings, a channel that introduces you to the educators, designers, and innovators shaping our sustainable space. Vegan leather, also known as faux leather or synthetic leather, has emerged as a popular alternative to traditional animal-derived leathers in recent years. While this synthetic material offers several attributes, it is not without its drawbacks. In this discussion, we interview Maggie Ulrich, educator in sustainable textiles, to review the aspects of vegan leather, shedding light on its environmental impact, ethical considerations, and overall performance. This video is done in collaboration with Kanoa, a cutting-edge design tool that redefines the way we create mood boards and plan furniture arrangements. With Kanoa, you can gain access to a unified database of sustainable and pre-owned furnishings, streamlining the entire design process. Experience the future of design with Kanoa, where inspiration meets innovation and creativity knows no bounds. To learn more, click the link in the description on this video.
So to define or not define what vegan leather is, we have to look back at what the definition for vegan is. And in the United States, there is no available definition for vegan according to the country's laws. There's also no legal definition for vegan leather for the US, the EU, or the UK. If any of those regions wanted to put in their own guidelines and definitions for vegan, they could, but there's definitely no global standard for what the definition of vegan means. Going forward, if you were thinking about vegan as a food product, we typically understand that this is a food product that does not derive from animals. However, this is also still not defined, and it's really used more for marketing purposes as a way to not mislead customers. I think most people understand vegan as a diet, but vegan as a textile and vegan leather is a lot more confusing because we're putting this word that clearly means it's from an animal skin and then saying, no, it's not that. So unfortunately, because there's no legal definition on vegan, there's no definition on the fuller term of vegan leather. What can be considered vegan leather is artificial, synthetic, bio leather, or faux leather. It can mean leather that the main material is not an animal product, but it can include animal-derived products that could be found in glues, dyes, softeners, finishes, etc. Vegan leather can and is generally made from polymers like PU, polyurethane, and PVC. Those polymers can come directly from fossil fuels, so like oil, or they can be derived from bio-based oil, so a plant-based or a plant that is turned into a plant-based oil and then turned into those biopolymers. We've also seen vegan leathers created in a way that they're taking actual plant-based fibers, so we're not going back to the oil stage, we're using the fibers from the plants, and then often this is coated with plastic to give it kind of a leathery appearance. So we are now seeing vegan leather as this synthetic that is either made from fossil fuels, a synthetic made from bio-based, or a plant-based leather that is actually made from plant-based fibers and which can then be coated with fossil fuel-based synthetics. And all within that, we are dealing with the glues that are connecting all of this material together, because if you've ever ripped apart a vegan leather, there's usually at least two sides, a back and a front, and those are going to be glued together. So technically speaking, like if we want no derived animal product, that glue needs to be completely synthetic. Again, if the glues are synthetic, they're very likely coming from fossil fuels, causing even greater impact. So there's a lot of things that vegan leather includes, doesn't include, and it's not an easy topic to understand. Vegan leather has been around for several decades. We saw a bit of it show up in the 70s. We saw a big reassurance of it in the 90s when pleather pants were coming out. Again, now with this new eco-conscious customer, we're seeing a lot more brands embrace these vegan leathers. So from a clothing perspective and accessories and footwear, we have seen vegan leather for many decades. We know that the product is viable. We know that we can use it in all sorts of different products in all sorts of different ways, but we also have learned that they don't handle wear and tear the same way as like a leather product would. So yes, we know it is possible to technically replace leather with a vegan leather or a synthetic leather, but we are not going to get a one-for-one perfect change. What we have seen more recently than just this explosion of synthetic-based vegan leathers is this explosion of bio-based vegan leathers. Those are definitely more in the works. People are definitely excited to talk about them and bring them to market, but for the most case, they are in very small batches. The production of these materials just aren't scaled up for many reasons. The machinery is not there, the bioproduct's not there, it's very expensive, and it's very difficult to get a customer to try a new product that they don't know how it's going to work in the end. So the history of vegan leather has been around for some time, but it has seen a lot of new evolutions in the past few years. So as we look for more conscious materials, one of the big things we think about is how can we use this product after its life? We're done wearing it, we're done using it. Can it be recycled, composted, biodegrade? And the current state that we are in right now is the vast majority of textiles cannot be recycled. We do not have the infrastructure to take it back. We don't have the infrastructure to recycle it and then turn it into something that's useful rather than downcycle it. These vegan leathers, specifically talking about the synthetic versions, they are, as I mentioned, layered in many different polymers, dyes, glues. Whenever you're adding in glues and dyes, you are not able to recycle it. We have no technology in the market right now to extract those glues and dyes to get straight back to the synthetic form, which means it will not be recycled at end of life. The bio-based products are often coated in plastic. So now we have a bio-based chemical and a technical solution put together, which means we've completely reduced the ability of composting. And when we talk about biodegradable, so the product might be bio-based, meaning made out of a plant, but when we talk about biodegrading it and turning it back into natural chemicals like soil, water, etc., we are unable to do that because we've derived those bio-based products so many different times. So you could take an apple, throw it in the soil, it will decompose into nutrients. If you take a pineapple leaf and you cover it in plastic and you put it in the soil, it's still just going to be plastic in the soil. It's not going to biodegrade. So yes, vegan leather is at this point in time not recyclable, not biodegradable, and not compostable. There are definitely companies working towards that, and that could change in the future. But where we are right now, it's not possible. And then to keep this in mind, when you are disposing of synthetics, they might also be releasing a lot of harmful dioxins when broken down, because we know plastic breaks down. So whether it's exposed to the elements and it shreds into microplastics, which is a problem on its own, or it turns into toxic chemicals that are affecting the atmosphere. There's a lot of different ways that vegan leather could also be bad when it is broken down beyond just not being recyclable.